Hello
Xin chào cả
everyone, welcome
nhà.
to Adonis
Chào
Rep.
mừng đến
If you
với
find it
phần
interesting, please give me a
120
like,
của bộ
subscribe
truyện
to the channel,
Ta
and
sở
remember to
hữu hệ
turn on the
thống bung
notification
tiền bao
bell
gái
to watch
để
the
tăng
latest
cấp.
videos as soon as
Nếu thấy
possible.
hay hãy
I
cho
wish
mình một
everyone
like
moments of
và
joy
một
and
đăng ký
happiness with
kênh.
family and
Chúc
loved
cả
ones.
nhà
I
xem
wish you
video
all a happy
vui
new
vẻ.
day. Everyone was amazed by Kim Taehyung's speed in completing the exam. Everyone exclaimed, "What? Submitted already? It hasn't even been 30 minutes, gave up already?" The examiner next to him was so stunned after reviewing his paper that he was speechless. The other examiner thought he had submitted a blank sheet and felt proud about it. Many people were very curious about the performance of this fraud from Boxia. Just in time, let me grade his paper. Kim Taehyung calmly agreed without hesitation. All right, let's grade it on the spot. The examiner glanced through his answers and was very surprised. He quickly flipped to the back, and upon seeing all the results, he was utterly bewildered. The other examiner had some questions and he whispered, "Call the monitoring room to check on his surveillance. There truly is no cheating in any form." Hearing this, the other examiner immediately complied. Okay. The candidates above were extremely surprised to hear the examiners murmuring below. The genius next to them finally understood it and quickly got up. Could it be? He quickly snatched the exam paper from the examiner's hands. "Give it to me." After finishing the exam, he couldn't believe what he had just seen. On the other side, the intercom called back the examiner to confirm. The monitoring room had repeatedly asserted that there was no cheating. Upon hearing this, he clenched his teeth tightly. The previous questions were all correct. After hearing this announcement, all the candidates in the auditorium couldn't help but be surprised. What? This young man quickly took Kim Taehyung's exam paper and ran off, calling someone as he ran. Not only the one in front, but even the idea of the last question. I think it is very feasible. Sorry, I need to call the laboratory immediately and ask them to verify based on this data. I need to excuse myself for a moment. All the candidates, with the expressions and actions of the examiner below, could only hold their heads and lament. Therefore, the conclusion was clear. This Huaxia man managed to get his score based on his actual ability? The examiner was not satisfied, clenching his fists in anger. Impossible. How? How did he manage to do this? Kim Taehyung happily stretched comfortably. The exam is over, time to go home and sleep. At this moment, he stood up and called Kim Taehyung over, speaking at length. "I didn't expect that you truly have talent and knowledge. Now, all the previous questions have been scored at maximum points. We are just waiting for your score on the last question to be announced. According to regulations, we have to wait for everyone to finish before we can give you your final score. However, based on my high regard for you, I can make an exception and officially invite you to join the European Academy of Advanced Physics first." After hearing this, Kim Taehyung felt a bit bewildered. Just return the result, no explanation needed, nothing else. He extended his hand toward him with an extremely arrogant attitude. "As long as you have the status of our research institution, no one will dare to doubt your abilities. You've spent so much time studying physics, you came here to compete under pressure for this reason, right? The dream of many researchers is to work in the highest scientific research institution in the world. As long as you make certain contributions, I can register to help you change your nationality from here." Before he could finish speaking, Kim Taehyung couldn't help but laugh out loud. Seeing Kim Taehyung laughing like that, he appeared angry. Kim Taehyung quickly refused. "I'm sorry, I can't hold it in. Your joke is just too funny. Firstly, my abilities do not need your validation. Secondly, I have no intention of betraying my country to change my nationality." Hearing him say that made him extremely uncomfortable. "Do you think that with such exam scores, the world will recognize you? It's useless. If you don't have the validation of our organization with only this kind of achievement, you won't find a good position in Europe, let alone receive research funding. Without money, you are nothing." Kim Taehyung arrogantly pointed straight at him. "I'm so sorry, but your environment in Europe is not suitable for me. I came here for one purpose, which is to slap the faces of arrogant people." Saying that, he quickly left. Goodbye. Wit was very angry to see that he was not taking his words seriously. He's just an ordinary genius. Does he really think he's so rare? We're not lacking in that. We have Asai Tan, who has both money and capability. He's the real genius. At that moment, Asai Tan also received a call from the laboratory announcing, "Successful! Asai Tan, the experiment is successful. The data is real." As Kim Taehyung was leaving, Asai Tan blocked his way. Kim Taehyung asked, "What do you want from me?" Asai Tan, upon hearing what the laboratory said, couldn't hold back, dropping his phone and hurriedly kneeling down, wanting to take him as his master. "Still hope master accept me as disciple." The contestants in the auditorium were very surprised. "What? Our number one genius, Asai Tan, is kneeling to this person. Oh my God." Wick felt slapped in the face, angrily shouted, "What are you doing?" Asai Tan. "What?" Asai Tan expressed his thoughts. "Your creativity and knowledge is truly extraordinary. In such a short time, You have solved a problem that we could not resolve in a year. I thought there weren't many people in the world who could guide me until I met you. I see my own mediocrity and shortcomings. I really want to improve. Kim Taehyung, puzzled, scratched his head. I don't have time to guide others. Ao Saitan handed him his bank card. Master, this 500,000 euros is the championship bonus that was previously agreed upon. I will give you another 500,000 euros as a gift from an apprentice to a master. If you ever need anything in the future, the Lucky Five family will do its utmost to assist you. The head of the 5th generation of the Lucky Five family, Ao Saitan, requests to be accepted as your disciple. He looked at the bank card, contemplating this. Ao Saitan suddenly grasped his hand, showing his enthusiasm. Master, you don't need to speak. My current abilities are too low. I really don't deserve to be your disciple. In the future, I will improve my skills and then come to your door to request to be your disciple. Yuvaxia people have a saying, 3 times to invite. I understand that. He was rendered speechless by Ao Saitan's enthusiasm. Wait a minute, bro. Just return the result. No explanation needed, nothing else. No useless quotation marks or punctuation unless necessary. At this moment, reporters were flooding in from outside. We have all heard everything outside. As a candidate who achieved a perfect score, may I ask which University of Huaxia you are attending? Can you accept our exclusive interview? I have customized a filming plan for you. Sir, our first Silicon Technology research team desperately needs talents like you. I am ready to hire you with an annual salary of 20 million euros. Hey, classmate, check this out. Our seed research agency is also very strong and is not compatible with Luchin University. Carl, do you want to consider it? Ao Saitan was pushed aside by the crowd and knocked out. Wick was in such a desperate situation that he was trampled by everyone and called out to Ao Saitan. Hey, Ao Saitan, save me. Ao Saitan rushed over and pushed those people away. Hey, everyone, get out of the way. Do you people even know? Wick was delighted, thinking that Ao Saitan was coming to save him. But before Wick could finish speaking, Ao Saitan pointed at himself and shouted loudly, Do you even know what it means to come first? I came first. Master, if you want to enter the research team, it is also through me first. Wick was immediately frozen in shock. At that moment, Professor Tang and a group of students burst in. We come from the Huaxia Institute of Physics. This is the talent of our Huaxia. Everyone get out of the way. Wick was on the verge of fainting, only able to scream. My ribs are about to break. Looking at everyone surrounding him for interviews, is your salary at Huaxia comparable to ours? That's right, whoever pays the highest salary gets to work with him. Swan smiled happily. Kim Taehyung is really talented. Your degree of liking has increased by 2%. At this moment, 2 female reporters offered him their contact information. This is my room number. Can you come alone at 8 p.m.? Please tell me about your research on dark matters. Swan felt extremely uncomfortable seeing those 2 girls being so approachable with Kim Taehyung. Being swarmed like this, Kim Taehyung desperately wanted to escape. Don't bother me. I don't want to go anywhere. You all step aside. But his words had no effect. At this point, Kim Taehyung began to tiptoe, swiftly turning and easily escaping from the crowd. Everyone was astonished after witnessing this. What is this? How could he do that? Everyone's eyes sparkled with excitement. That is the martial arts of Huaxia. It turns out that the people of Huaxia really know martial arts. Suddenly, Ao Saitan ran out with a beaming face. Teacher, I also want to learn this. Kim Taehyung felt uncomfortable with Ao Saitan's demands. You should go quickly. Why you want to learn everything? Suddenly, his arm was grabbed by someone. It turned out to be Swan pulling Kim Taehyung away. Everyone behind quickly chased after them. Champion, you might have taken this trophy yet. Mr. Kim, I invite you at the price of 30 million USD. Professor Tang stopped everyone, then turned and shouted, I will help you 2 block them. You guys hurry and run away. Swan pulled Kim Taehyung as they ran and said, Kim Taehyung, go this way. I'm familiar with this school and know how to escape from them. The 2 of them continued running to the door of the drama department. At this moment, inside the drama department, several security guards were patrolling. After a brief inspection and finding no one, they reported over the radio. All rooms have been thoroughly checked and no targets were found. The person next to them closed the door, feeling a bit confused. I clearly saw them run in here, but why have they disappeared like that? This is really strange. The other person continued to report over the radio. Perhaps they escaped through the back door, so everyone should hurry and chase after them. It turns out that the 2 had disguised themselves, but in this situation, both could still share a passionate kiss. After breaking the kiss, Swan blushed and felt shy. Kim Taehyung looked at Swan admiringly. Wonderful. This hiding spot is amazing. We managed to disguise ourselves as mannequins to escape from the security staff. After ensuring that everyone had left, he opened the door to step outside. He and Swan were still in those outfits, walking and talking. For now, no one will come back to check here, so let's hide for a little while. Suddenly, Swan behind him became shy and blushed, seemingly thinking about something inappropriate. He heard her giggle and turned to ask, "Huh? Why are you laughing?" Unexpectedly, Swan leaned closer to him, trying to seduce him. In this scene, I feel like a wicked dancer seducing an innocent student. He, hearing this, went along with her idea. This student also wants to challenge his weakness. Swan, upon hearing this, boldly pushed him down onto the chair. She confidently approached and lifted his chin. "Mr. Kim, I've heard that you are a gentleman who has read the books of philosophers and will never change what you have decided. I don't believe it, so right now I want to persuade you." Saying that, Swan tightly grasped his hands, leaned in, and kissed him. Her whole body became flushed, and her mischievous hands started to unbutton his shirt. Then she looked down at him enticingly. "Today, I am not the good girl I usually am. I am a naughty dancer, and you are a helpless student, Mr. Kim." He was taken aback by her actions and words. She unbuttoned his shirt, taking the initiative to stimulate him, leaving him unable to resist, allowing her to ruin him. He felt delighted internally, thinking that she was a bit different today. At that moment, she sat upright on him, her whole body trembling. He wondered, "What's wrong with you?" Suddenly, she returned to her usual lovely demeanor, unable to hold back her tears. I don't know what to do next." Seeing this, he happily replied, "Nothing has really changed." Saying that, he pushed her down onto the chair, regaining the initiative. "I'm not going to pretend anymore. Actually, I'm not a student, I'm an FBI agent. You've been caught, you can't escape anymore." Kim Taehyung firmly locked the enemy's legs up. She cooperated. "I can't escape anymore." Both of them exchanged a passionate kiss. She immediately confessed her feelings to Kim Taehyung. "Kim Taehyung, I love you." At this moment, her degree of liking for Kim Taehyung increased by 5%, bringing her current degree of liking to 100%. Congratulations to the master for achieving the third 100% strategic milestone. The counterattack was successful, and the relationship between Swan and the master has changed. From now on, she will wholeheartedly dedicate herself to the master and will never betray him. The second phase cost 0 gold for the counterattack and yielded 0 cash, rewarding all attributes with an increase of 1. Currently, all attributes are at level 12, and the master can choose 1 skill at will. The two continued until sunset. Kim Taehyung was very comfortable pouring water for her. Swan, come here and drink some water. I bought it from the vending machine." Upon hearing that, she turned around to take it, not forgetting to thank him. At this moment, he sat down next to her, curious. "What are you looking at that's so funny?" She immediately showed her phone to him. "Ha ha ha, she is my best friend. Before coming here, I made a bet with her on who would confess to the guy they like first, and I won." He looked at the message and discovered that his best friend's name was Yang Yoon. Upon seeing this, he became worried. Yang Yoon, they seem to have known me before they realized that. Suddenly, she leaned in to kiss him. "How about I let the two of you meet when we get back to Boxa? I'll make her go crazy." He anxiously thought in confusion. This has finally come. Is she 100% like Yang Yoon yet? What will happen in the meeting of these two good friends? Is this system 100% reliable? At that moment, his phone received a message from Jenny. "Taehyung, have you read the news yet?" After Swan returned to Boxia, everyone is calling her a traitor. After seeing this message, he frowned. In a female dormitory of some university, a girl had just woken up and was putting on her tights. She coldly pulled them up to her thighs and then left the dorm room. When closing the door, the wall was covered with paint marks calling her a traitor. The girls around her looked at her with scornful, mocking faces. She didn't care and quietly left for the canteen. Suddenly, a wad of paper was thrown directly into her bowl of soup by someone. Those people looked at her with scornful, mocking faces. She endured this bullying without standing up, silently suffering, sweating profusely. At that moment, she resentfully wiped away her tears. But suddenly, Kim Taehyung sent her a message asking how her day was and wanting to be friends with her. Seeing the caring message from Kim Taehyung, she happily replied, "Thank you, Kim Taehyung. I'm fine. Yesterday, a little black cat from the dormitory downstairs wanted to follow me home, but I felt like I didn't have a job yet, so I didn't dare to adopt it." Unbeknownst to her, the scene of her texting Kim Taehyung had been recorded by someone. The video also contained many images of her being bullied. That person clicked on the picture when someone had just thrown a piece of paper into her soup. Fast forwarding, she saw the girl with purple hair who had thrown that paper. She and her two friends were also bad-mouthing her. She doesn't even dare to look back to see who threw it. How cowardly. It's most fun to bully someone who doesn't dare to resist. It's a pity her reaction wasn't interesting at all. I want to see her break down and cry. When the purple-haired girl heard her friends say that, her voice became sarcastic. You're so lucky. I've thought of a plan to gift her at graduation. I will make her look like a fool in front of thousands of graduating students across the school. That will definitely crush her. Meanwhile, the man who had recorded the process of her being bullied was standing in a corner pretending to be a janitor. The phone rang with a voice. Oh, this is a bit interesting. I also want to help her. Unexpectedly, there was a surveillance camera attached to the man's glasses, so the entire process of her being bullied, along with the group that was bullying her, was all sent to someone else. Suddenly, this man's phone rang with a notification. When he opened his phone, his eyes lit up as he had just received $1 million. The man was overjoyed, wagging his tail like a dog, not forgetting to message back to thank the person on the other end. Thank you, boss. You are really generous. I didn't expect that my unreliable cousin would actually introduce the right person. Kim Taehyung on the other end was walking and responding. No, I should be the one thanking you for working so effectively. Besides, I need your help. The man immediately replied, okay, no problem. No problem at all. After learning that she had been bullied, he was certain that his suspicions were correct. She would definitely be bullied when she returned to Huaxia. She didn't dare tell me. Fortunately, a lieutenant had a cousin who was a detective, making this investigation go very smoothly. A culture that is already weak and obsessed with face would certainly not allow her to stab her immensely famous national coach in the back. Even if that coach was a scumbag, even if he harmed many female athletes, and even if he brought disgrace to the Go community of his country, those talents didn't care about right or wrong. They only thought that she had brought shame to the country. It was time for him to go there personally. He proactively texted her, a few days from now is your graduation ceremony, right? I have nothing to do, so I will come back to congratulate you. She was very surprised to hear that. Really? I'm really happy. But Taehyung, you're so busy. Will it affect your work? He quickly replied, making money is just secondary. Hearing this, she accepted. I understand. You also have work here. She read the message and felt very happy inside. In this world, besides my family, you are the only one who treats me so well. The next day, he arrived in front of the university where she was studying and quickly called her. I'm at the university gate. She panicked upon hearing this. What? She hurriedly put on her shoes to go outside. Wait for me there. I'll be right down. When she ran up to him, she was out of breath. Why did you come so early? He scratched his head and smiled awkwardly. I'm a college student too, and I was really curious about what the universities here look like, so I came to see. Ha ha. All the students at the school were looking at the two of them, then whispering and murmuring. He doesn't look like a local from this country. A traitor even found a foreign boyfriend. Hearing those words made her a bit uncomfortable, so she pointed to another place and cheerfully said to him, This university is quite small. There isn't much to see. There are many interesting shops on the pedestrian street. Let me take you around. After that, we can have lunch at a famous restaurant online, okay. But he happily replied, I see that you've run a bit out of breath, so let's eat something at the school first. She was afraid that he would discover she was being bullied, so she could only force a smile. This school's cafeteria has so many people eating that it's really shabby. I've already made a reservation at the famous restaurant online, so why don't we go right now? As she was speaking, he walked over to 3 cats and started petting them. Ah, isn't this the little black cat you often talk about? It's so cute. She was taken aback by his sudden action. He continued to cheerfully stroke the black cat, then turned to the group of bullies and asked, Hello, classmates. Where does your cafeteria? The group of bullies responded mockingly in Huaxia. Welcome, welcome. It's such a privilege to dine at our university. Our cafeteria is famous in Huaxia for its variety of dishes, and the meat is even half the price compared to outside. We even have imported fruit. I've heard that your university's dining hall doesn't even have kimchi, right? What can I say? Guests should respect our country. While you may be excellent, we must also learn to be humble. Seeing the group of people talking so much, he stood up without a care. Thank you for letting me know. I don't know how things are in other places, but I'm actually studying at a university where there is no kimchi, although there are many other dishes. The 3 people laughed mockingly. There are many dishes, but no place sells kimchi. He ignored them and took the girl elsewhere. Shall we go have dinner? She happily replied, yes. Suddenly, he turned back to look at them with a terrifying expression. With the photos provided by the detective, they are the ones who mainly bullied her, while others just stood by and enjoyed her misfortune. To deal with this kind of bully, we need to act nobly and cite them to act, and then deliver a fatal blow as a warning. At the university canteen, he approached and looked at the menu board. The buffet is $6. He converted it in his mind. $6 is 42 yuan, right? So 31 yuan for the buffet. I think that's reasonable. Seeing him hesitating, she stepped forward, wanting to invite him. How about I pay for you? Perhaps you don't have any money. He happily accepted. Thank you. He smiled and took a tray to serve himself food, but she looked at all the students in the school with a worried expression from behind. The food was arranged in abundance. Looking at the pile of food in front of him, he felt a bit confused. Is this all kimchi? At that moment, the chef brought out a new dish. Immediately, the students rushed over. Whoa, it's finally here. We can only have it once a week. What a pity. He squeezed into the crowd to see what was going on. What dish is so popular? People were eagerly grabbing it, and he was a bit surprised. Isn't this pickled watermelon rind? He scoffed and walked away. Although my hometown occasionally uses pickled watermelon rind for eating, to be considered a delicacy and praised by the whole school is just too much. At this point, he went over and was about to grab a piece of fried chicken. Ah, there's fried chicken and steak. Suddenly, she appeared to clarify about the dish. This is fried potato cake. Upon hearing that, he felt disheartened, his face falling. She suddenly pointed in another direction. Mr. Kim Taehyung, do you want to eat some meat? There are fried eggs over there. Each person can only have one, and today's kelp soup contains meat. He looked at the pot of soup with a few pieces of meat and didn't feel pleased. A buffet, where each person is only allowed to eat one fried egg? What the hell? And this boiled white meat, can it be eaten with rice? It seems like I no longer have any appetite. After one more person, it would be Kim Taehyung's turn. He sighed in frustration. Forget it. I'll just eat a little. He scooped a spoonful of soup into a bowl. There really was nothing else to eat. Then the two of them went to the dining table and she showed him something. Finally, she placed a white piece on the chessboard on her phone. She looked at the board and couldn't help but exclaim in amazement. So it can still move like this. Mr. Kim Taehyung, you are amazing. The teacher doesn't always have to start from the natural. Her degree of liking increased by 10% and her current degree of liking was 68%. Seeing her happy like that, he cheerfully responded. However, this ghost strategy changes a lot and needs to be adjusted according to the opponent. It's harder for ordinary people to master this type of ghost strategy if their mental strength is not strong enough. He felt happy inside. Finally, I can see her smile, and only Go can make her temporarily forget about her worries. Suddenly, the phones of all the students buzzed with notifications. She opened hers in confusion and couldn't help but feel surprised. A notification appeared mentioning him. Notification from the university. Today, the cafeteria is serving lunch with seaweed soup, but in front of it, there is a man from Poloxia taking an unusual amount of meat. According to the rules, each person is allowed only one bowl of soup, and each bowl can have only one piece of meat. Whether domestic or international student, everyone pays the same fee for meals. If we pay the same amount and receive different services, we'll pay the legitimate fee. Below, the comments were continuously cursing him. He took so much meat, if he can't finish it, he shouldn't waste it. Indeed, Huaxia people have never eaten meat. What RBE reports is true. It's really pitiful. Being so poor is shameless. The food in our cafeteria is enough to shock him. I've been there for 5 years, and that man is brought there by that traitor. He and she read it together, mouths agape, disbelieving. At that moment, he felt utterly helpless. Why was he both angry and wanting to laugh? It was truly abstract. At that moment, a picture of her being secretly photographed by someone was posted online. Below it, comments continuously insulted her. Here's the traitor again. I took a picture of her a few days ago when she was packing up her things. The reality is she took 2 extra disposable chopsticks. Even though our country is developing, we can't waste things like this. She deserves to be expelled and drop out. She scrolled through all the harsh comments about herself. Those sounds echoed in her head, making her unable to hold back her tears. She felt everything was her fault and apologized to him. I'm sorry, I don't know why things turned out this way. I lied to you that nothing happened to me. He patted her on the back to comfort her. It's totally not your fault. It's just that people here are too crazy. It has really gone beyond my limit. Suddenly, 2 male students brought a sign and placed it in front of the 2 of them, leaving him confused. It turned out to be the university's announcement, along with a picture of him serving soup being captured. He was taken aback. Holy shit, what the hell? All the students at the university stared at the 2 of them with murderous looks. The girl with purple hair walked over, her face full of arrogance. That traitor, if you want to disrupt the order of our school by bringing this Huaxia person along, I recognize that. Isn't this man the one who sponsored you with $2 billion? If you violate our canteen regulations, you'll be fined 10 times. He is that rich, paying $60 is just too simple, because we are civilized and reasonable, unlike him. This kind of person must be photographed and posted on social media. All the students, hearing this, took out their phones to take pictures. This person is the sponsor of the traitor. He came here to play school games with that traitor, didn't he? Surely so. Just look at his miserable appearance. After paying the fine, leave immediately. Don't tarnish the image of our school. Get out of our country. You are not welcome here. At this moment, she couldn't bear it any longer and stood up. You have gone too far. Isn't it just a piece of meat that he got? Some of you get much more, so why not talk about yourselves? Just for this small matter, the whole school has made an announcement. You are only targeting us. How good is the quality of your school anyway? The girl was very surprised to see her so determined. The girl with pink hair angrily threw the soy sauce bottle at her. Daring to embarrass me like that, son of a bitch, how dare you get mad in front of me? Die. At that moment, Kim Taehyung, with his swift body, hugged her, causing the soy sauce bottle to smash to one side. He exclaimed, "Oh my, an entire bottle of soy sauce. What a waste, isn't it?" While preventing others from taking another piece of meat and a pair of chopsticks, they wasted an entire bottle of soy sauce. So do you have such double standards? The girl with purple hair rushed towards Kim Taehyung, continuously shouting, "You traitor, shut up." At that moment, he gently waved his hand, instantly pushing her away. "Step aside, you're blocking my camera." At that moment, all the students pointed their cameras at the two of them. He was irritated. "Do you all want to take pictures? Fine, I'll let you take as many as you want." The girl with purple hair then yelled, "Make sure to get his face clearly, and remember to post it on social media so everyone knows about this trash." The girl behind had recorded the entire actions of the purple-haired girl from earlier. "Mr. Kim Taehyung, don't worry, I will record everything afterward. You don't have to worry about them editing the original video." He smiled at her and said, "Even if you do something in your heart, I will support you." At that moment, he boldly pointed at the purple-haired girl and said loudly, "First, point out her actions in the canteen. It doesn't specify that you can only take one piece of meat. I see that the person in front of me has taken a lot of meat, but when it comes to me, I am criticized for taking too much. Clearly, you are plotting something big just to find an opportunity to criticize her." The purple-haired girl heard this and arrogantly laughed. "Do you still want us to look down on you? Your country, Waksada, doesn't even have enough money to buy kimchi, and you are greedy when you see even a little bit of meat." This time, he took out his phone and called someone. "I know that the gap in understanding cannot be explained to you in just one sentence, so I will provide you with the best answer. Brothers, come in." At that moment, several figures appeared outside the canteen. 3 men, each pushing a large cart of watermelons inside under the watchful eyes of everyone. He proudly waved his hand. "This is 100 pounds of watermelon. I invite everyone to eat." All the students in the school were very surprised after hearing that. 100 kilograms of watermelon, how much would that cost? Our watermelons are usually quite expensive, around 21 yuan. If that's the case, 100 kilograms of watermelon would be too costly, right? Are we being treated to this? The 3 bullies spoke up at this moment. "This is a type of watermelon from Huaxiat. It certainly won't taste as good as our watermelons. It might just be some cheap junk, but since it's watermelon as an apology, let's eat it and see how bad it is." The girl with purple hair commented, "He definitely knows he's in the wrong, which is why he bought such fancy watermelons to apologize." The young man in the back also chimed in, "I haven't eaten watermelon for 3 years. When I was accepted into this university, my family bought me a piece of watermelon to celebrate. That feeling is something I will never forget." The watermelon had been cut into pieces and placed on the table for all the students. "All right, don't be shy. Come eat. Each person, it's a portion." Everyone rushed over, eagerly chewing and continuously praising. "Delicious. Is Huaxia watermelon this good? I've eaten a lot of watermelon since I was a child, but I've never tasted one this sweet and flavorful. A watermelon this good must be priceless. It can't possibly be this delicious. Why didn't the ones I ate before taste this sweet and fragrant? The watermelons I had before can't compare to this one. Have I really taken the form of a Huaxia watermelon?" Seeing everyone enjoying their meal like that, he finally spoke up and mocked. "Ha ha, this is a defective product from our Huaxia melon fields. It can't be sold at a high price, so the husband hasn't sold it to the farmers for 2 cents a pound to feed the pigs. Today, these watermelons have become valuable in front of these fools." Everyone who was eating stopped in shock. They all gaped in disbelief. "What? Feeding pigs? This is a defective product. How can these watermelons taste so good? Should we even eat watermelons this tasty for the pigs?" At this moment, everyone turned into pigs, pushing and shoving. "It's fake. It can't possibly be real." "That's right. I don't believe it was eaten by pigs. Don't throw away the watermelon rinds. After we're done eating, let's put them back and make kimchi, damn it. Leave me a piece too." The girl over there filmed everything, looking at the scene in the video helplessly. Suddenly, he snapped his fingers again. Outside, 3 food carts were pushed in. These pigs were eating watermelons but turned around in confusion. The food was unveiled and it was all meat, all delicious, expensive dishes. Were these pigs drooling? "Oh my god, what is this? Am I dreaming? Why is there so much meat? Oh my god, is that the smell of meat? I've never seen so many luxurious dishes in my life." The girl with purple hair was drooling at this moment. Uh-huh. Finally, you have realized that your guilt is too heavy. Just watermelon is not enough. Are you using your party to apologize to us? Hearing this, he couldn't help but cover his mouth with his hand. Huh? Where did the state banquet come from? Do you even know what home cooking is? The pig sat down, staring at the food, drooling. Home cooking is it? You eat this plate of cabbage, right? I don't believe that. Don't try to lie to me. Can you at least eat a little first? It's not fake. There's a lot of meat, so vibrant, so fragrant. It must be a model. Just take a bite. No, 3 bites, and the secret will be revealed. He sighed and said, all right, eat. Immediately, those pigs rushed in to devour the food. The girl was eating happily when she handed a piece of meat to the girl with purple hair. Oh my God, this piece of beef is so big. Aren't you going to try it? The girl with purple hair was drooling but still refused to eat. I won't eat it. Eating so much meat is not good for health. I'm on a diet. Hearing this, he walked up to the girl with purple hair and said clearly, broaden your horizons and look out into the world. Your media has brainwashed you thoroughly. Do you really think that our country in Huaxia is unable to afford luxury items? Do you know that we also export many things to your country? The girl with purple hair shouted back, I don't believe it. We are a developed country. How can we possibly be inferior to you, a developing country? You have taken our land, culture, history, and even our resources. Even if you are richer than others, patriotism must come first. At that moment, he didn't care and turned away. Yes, I admire the way you act bravely and strongly. Throughout life, it's just a small place, but the map is larger than the world. Keep dreaming of frogs sitting at the bottom of the well. Hey, take all these watermelons and meat back. After all, we are raising pigs. Go buy another 30,000 disposable chopsticks and distribute them to these people. They only cost a few coins, enough to allow those who are more filthy than pigs and dogs to survive for a while. They save a single chopstick to pick up another piece of meat. It takes a very long time. Right now, the food is being pushed outside by those people. All the students who haven't eaten rush over wanting to grab it. No, haven't eaten yet. The girl with purple hair at the back tries to hold everyone back. You all go back. Don't go over there. At this moment, a video of the dispute between him and the girl with purple hair has been uploaded to YouTube with the caption, because the Huaxia person took another piece of meat, the university reported it for criticism. This man slapped the university cafeteria with home-cooked food. Below, people comment, where is this university? Why is it treating students like this? It makes me laugh. When I came to this country to eat hot pot, the side dishes provided were richer than the dishes in this university cafeteria. When I traveled to Europe, the food there was really delicious. This university needs to be boycotted. At the university, a principal's office is extremely troubled by the reports people have submitted. Principal, a large number of foreign netizens have flooded the school's forum insulting us on every post. How about changing the Buffett rules so there are no limits? Could this save us some money? Are you crazy? If we don't do that, how can we have so much money? Where would we get the money for unlimited supplies? This cannot continue. Our school's ratings have plummeted and need to be reversed as soon as possible. At this moment, the principal said loudly, there is a solution, but now there is only one way. At the entrance of the canteen, everyone quickly stepped out. Suddenly, someone called out loudly, Mr. Kim, please wait a moment. Please hold on. It turned out that the person standing in front was the principal of this school. Upon seeing the principal, she was very surprised. The principal is here too? I'm so glad. You finally made it here. I've just been waiting for you today. These days, the speed of internet communication really is a good thing. I don't have to do anything. The senior management of the school all know about it. The principal came in front of him and bowed his head. I'm sorry, Mr. Kim. I am the principal of this university. As soon as I learned about the situation, I rushed here as quickly as possible. Clearly, our canteen has done something wrong, and that is a big mistake. I immediately ordered punishment for the person in charge of the canteen and revised the canteen's regulations. I truly apologize that this has happened to you. On behalf of this university, the professors and other lecturers, I apologize to you. But this is just a small misunderstanding. Our university is very friendly and respects foreign students, especially talented students like you, Mr. Kim. So are you going to take back the comments you made online? At that moment, he spoke up. Stop it. You're mistaken. Those videos weren't recorded or posted by me. They were posted by your students. They are seeking their own demise. He pointed at the 3 people. I will not accept your apology because you don't understand what caused this issue. The root of the problem is these bullies. These individuals, like the students in your school, have been bullying her for a long time with betrayal. They are all blind and cannot see that she bravely stood up to expose the evil for the sake of justice. On the contrary, their distorted mindset and myopic eyes are fixated on their fragile skin, repeatedly violating her body and property. The one who truly needs an apology for this incident is not me, but her. At that moment, she was very surprised to learn everything that had happened to her. Kim Taehyung knew everything. He came here for her. At that moment, a man stepped forward and said, "I am her advisor. I have heard her address these issues, but she couldn't catch the perpetrator, and there's no evidence. Everything lacks proof." At this moment, the principal was very angry and turned to slap the man. Damn, the principal grabbed the man's head and said, "What Kim said is true. We need to find evidence. Is the reputation of our school more important than that trash? Immediately expel all the students who bullied her, revoke their student status, and call the police." Hearing this, the man immediately complied. Yes. I'm sorry, principal. I'm sorry, classmates." At that moment, the security guards came to arrest those who had bullied the principal. The criminals were apprehended and the police were on their way. The bullies still refused to admit their wrongdoing. "She is a traitor. That's right. Why are you arresting me? Why are you expelling me?" At that moment, the bully's father called, making her terrified. It was her father. As soon as he answered, her father on the other end kept yelling, "You worthless piece of trash. What have you done? Who taught you to bully your classmates? Do you know that all the information about our family has been posted online? There have been many dead rats and feces left in front of our house. Your mother's in my company has been attacked by harassing calls, and now both your mother and I have been fired." Hearing this, the bully could only cry out, "Why? What happened?" He looked at her mockingly. The bully was being bullied. How pathetic. Once everything was resolved satisfactorily, they both went out to have fun together. She pointed to a waterfall with many people around. "Kim Taehyung, look. When you said you wanted to meet me, I wanted to take you here right away. Enjoy the atmosphere. This scenery is quite unique. The wind and the mist from the waterfall are very refreshing." She cheerfully introduced it to him like a tour guide. "This is my favorite nature waterfall, one of the most beautiful waterfalls in my country. It is named so because it looks like the water is falling from the sky." Listening to what she said made it hard for him to believe. "Oh my, what the hell? Is it because I am too rich? Why isn't it as splendid as the bonsai and the flowing water in my house?" He sighed, patting her head. The poor child. "Don't look at everything too negatively. In such a small space, you can't broaden your perspective. Next time, I will take you on a trip." At this moment, she seemed to be infatuated with him. The gentle and affectionate gaze of Kim Taehyung. She happily said, "You want to take me on a trip? How romantic. Isn't this just a date?" She blushed and quickly turned away. "Oh my God, I've never dated a boy before. Can I go?" "No. Kim Taehyung only pities me and sees me as a younger sister. How can a younger sister have bad thoughts about her older brother? I'm very happy to be Kim Taehyung's younger sister." At that moment, she turned back to look at him. She felt like she had been separated from the national team and that evil coach. She could let go of the dark memories of the past and live freely and happily. She really didn't expect to be hated and ostracized by so many people when she returned to school. However, he was always there behind her to help and support her. "I really touched Big Brother. If it weren't for you, I would never be able to get through this." As she spoke, she leaned into his arms. At this moment, her degree of liking increased by 22%, reaching 90%, and the first counterattack phase was completed. The owner invested $2 billion for her counterattack and received back 10%, with $200 million transferred to the owner's personal account. The reward for all attribute points +1. Currently, all attributes are at level 13. She has to choose one of 3 reward skills. Please choose within the time limit. Skill level S, Financial Mastery. Skill level A, Seeing Mastery. Skill level C, Mastering the Push Technique. At that moment, he became extremely excited. "All right, let's go. Let's spend money." When she is unhappy, she has to go shopping. Buy everything. She was very surprised to hear that. Suddenly, her phone vibrated. As soon as she answered, the voice on the other end cried for help. "Help me." After hearing this, she was frantic. "Sumai, what happened to you? Where are you?" The person on the other end immediately replied, "I'm at the nightclub. I was forced to come here to drink with the big boss, but I know it's not just about drinking, so I called you under the pretense of going to the bathroom." Upon hearing this, her face went pale. "Sumai." The other side yelled, "I don't want to go outside." "No, I'm in VIP nightclub 01. He wondered, "What's going on? Who is on the phone?" She hurriedly said, "Mr. Kim Taehyung. Her name is Sumai. She is my childhood friend and my only friend. Last week, she said she was discovered by a talent scout and then dropped out of college to become a trainee. A star should have a bright future, but how did it end up like this?" He quickly ran away upon hearing this. "Call the police immediately and we will rush over there." She hurriedly called the police upon hearing this. "Hello, police, my friend has been kidnapped and taken to a nightclub. Please send someone to rescue her right away." At that moment, there were many cars on the street. The police rushed to that nightclub. Kim Taehyung checked his phone to learn about that nightclub. Immediately, the other person explained, This nightclub is run by tycoons. It is a place where the female stars of Holy Shark Entertainment Company entertain politicians and businessmen. As a consequence, 9 female stars have committed suicide in the past 10 years. The VIP section of the Sorry nightclub offers special services. If any customer in the nightclub falls for any female customer, the security will immediately grab her for the customer to enjoy. He then turned to look at the surroundings. Unsavory clientele. At this point in the Sorry nightclub, he took her hand and pulled her inside. In the crowd, there were 2 people watching them. Seeing there was no one around, she hurriedly dashed in. This is the VIP nightclub. He looked around, VIP area, no security in sight. As soon as they entered, the scene inside shocked her. Sumai. She rushed over and pushed the 2 men away. Get out. At that moment, she grabbed her friend's hand and pulled her along, saying, hurry up. But she remained still and motionless. Sumai spoke up. I'm sorry. Upon hearing that, she panicked. What? She turned to Kim Taehyung and said, Taehyung, something is wrong. We need to go. He replied casually, it's too late. At that moment, a group of security guards entered, aiming their guns at him. She shouted in panic. Ay. She turned back to look at her friend with annoyance. Sumai, I can't believe you did this. Sumai could only remain silent, not saying anything. She rushed over, grabbing Sumai tightly and demanding, how could you do this to me? Our relationship has been so close for so many years. Her friend sobbed and pleaded, I'm sorry. I could only do this, otherwise I will be killed and my whole family will die. They took naked pictures of me and forced me to entertain more than 10 clients in one night. I can't take it anymore. At that moment, a hand came from behind the curtain, grabbing Somai's head tightly. A cold voice then echoed, you're really noisy. Your friend is quite beautiful too. At that moment, the man who was holding Somai, the owner of the nightclub, appeared. As soon as he showed up, he spoke. Good evening, everyone. Somai, grabbed by her head, was crying and pleading. It hurts? Let me go. Seeing her friend being tortured like that, she couldn't help but shout loudly. Who are you? Let her go. As soon as he saw her, he complimented her, truly a genius in the world of Go. A small person with such a kind heart. Even betrayed by a good friend, you still care for her so much. But she has betrayed you. Shouldn't she be punished for this? At that moment, he looked down at her friend with a cold expression. What did you say? Immediately, Sumi fearfully knelt down. Somai slapped herself to beg for forgiveness from him. Yes, I was wrong. I deserve to be punished. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Seeing such a spectacle, he smugly sat down on a chair. Good evening to both of you. I am the manager of this place. Please relax and have a drink. She watched the scene unfold in disbelief. Terrified to the point of going pale, she still managed to shout loudly. When I came here, I called the police. The police will be here soon. What you are doing is illegal. He heard this and laughed heartily with delight. The police in this place are just my dogs. She was startled to hear this. What exactly do you want? I would rather die than surrender. Suddenly, he spoke up. A little girl like you is not worth my personal attention. At that moment, he noted Kim Taehyung. Mr. Kim, why don't you sit down and have a drink? Hearing his words surprised her. Meanwhile, he remained calm as if nothing was amiss, seemingly having predicted this. He replied, thank you for the congratulations, Mr. Ford, the owner of the Ford Group. He sat down and accepted the glass of wine from the waiter. I will drink it. Upon hearing this, he seemed a bit surprised. So, Mr. Kim knows me, which means no matter what happens, it's as if we never met. Seeing him drink, the expression on his face turned sinister. But just as he took a sip, the system helped him neutralize the substance in the wine. An aphrodisiac was detected, activating a level 11 detox to passively detoxify. The effects of the drug were nullified with a cooldown time of 5 minutes. Seeing this, he felt pleased. For sure. He arrogantly stood up and walked in front of him. Just as expected from you, Mr. Kim, your drinking ability is truly extraordinary. In fact, I invited you here today because I want to discuss a potential partnership with you. He moved closer to him. Mr. Kim, you know that the laws of Huaxia are too rigid and do not allow holding controlling shares in Huaxia. Therefore, it is really difficult for the Ford Group to do business in Huaxia. The only way is to find a special partner. After investigating you, Mr. Kim, I found that you are the most promising candidate. As long as you can help me bring the Ford Group into Huaxia, I can offer any conditions. Whether it is within, money, or power, I can satisfy you. He thought to himself, during the investigation, I learned that Mr. Kim is just a player who spends money recklessly with no background. He likes to spend money on antiques and real estate, play around with women everywhere to show off. If I control this pawn well, my plan to invade the Huaxia market can officially begin. Hearing his words, he merely smirked. He calmly replied, sorry, I have enough money. I'm not interested in partnering with your small company. The bodyguards were standing with their guns pointed at him, and upon hearing this, they had to take a step back in shock. The four-star group, the leader of four major domestic corporations, controlling 25% of the domestic economy, and you dare to call it a small company? Hearing his words, he seemed to lose his patience. Mr. Kim, you have tarnished the reputation of our Go coach, causing me to lose a lot of money. However, I am a person with a grand vision, a long-term perspective, and I do not care about these trivial matters. As long as you, Mr. Kim, can cooperate with me in the future, I can let you be the head of the group in Hoaxia. With that, he waved two fingers. Instantly, the door to the room opened, revealing many extraordinarily beautiful women. After drinking, you must feel quite uncomfortable, right? This is my entertainment company's girl band. I hope Mr. Kim will accept this, moreover. As long as you agree to cooperate, I can also give you this nightclub with 100 female stars inside. You can enjoy yourself however you please. As for your girl, she will naturally not encounter any trouble. She was taken aback by what she saw. Wasn't this girl group one of the most famous girl groups in the country? In reality, they were just playthings of the wealthy. She wondered how Kim Taehyung would handle this situation. At that moment, he calmly spoke up. The girl groups in your country are beautiful, but I can't tell them apart. They all look the same, and they're not to my taste. Through the system check, he learned that all the beauties present had undergone plastic surgery, so he couldn't begin a counterattack mission. Suddenly, he stood up and knocked the wine glass out of the server's hand. It seems your wine isn't strong enough for me. Seeing this action made the man visibly uncomfortable. The beautiful members of the group approached him to entice him. Kim, look at my eyes. They are 0.2 millimeters larger than hers. My lips are 0.5 millimeters thicker than hers. How can you say we look the same? Yes, their bangs are parted at 46 and 37, while mine is center parted, so it's very easy to recognize. Seeing that those women were being so disobedient made him angry. He shouted, "Get out of here." At that moment, he placed his hand on his chest, trying to suppress his anger. Don't rush to make a quick decision. Kim, please stay here for 3 days and consider the partnership issue. You can come and visit anytime now. Everything is free. His face became threatening, but if your answer disappoints me, I can assure you that you will not be able to leave this country. At this moment, Kim Taehyung left the nightclub. As she walked, she cried, constantly apologizing to him. This place is controlled by four powerful, wealthy individuals, and the four-star corporation is the strongest among them. That is an existence we absolutely cannot resist. It's all my fault. It's all because of me. If you hadn't come to see me, you wouldn't have fallen into such a difficult situation. He gently wiped her tears away and comforted her. It's okay. Everything is under my control. After all, those wealthy people are just groups of people driven by interests. Whoever has more money is the boss, and unfortunately, I'm richer than they are. She didn't understand anything after hearing that. At that moment, he displayed an extremely credible face. When we met for the first time, your face looked sad. That's not good at all. I hope you can be a beautiful woman, happy every day, spending money freely, being extravagant, and enjoying this life. His words touched her greatly. She stepped closer and hugged him tightly. Thank you, Kim Taehyung. I'm very happy. She silently told herself, Kim Taehyung has done so much for me and spent a lot of money. The only requirement he has for me is to be a happy girl. Oh God, I'm so happy. Even though he only sees me as a younger sister, I can hug him like this. I'm already very satisfied. I haven't dare ask for more. I only wish this moment could last longer. Suddenly, he wrapped his arms around her waist and cheerfully said, Let's go. I don't have time to sleep tonight. She was confused. Where should we go? He quickly activated his business skills. Then he pointed to a tall building and led her inside to meet the owner of the building. Immediately, both parties reached an agreement. In an instant, the other side swiped a card. She signed the contract and looked at him, who was talking on the phone, thinking about Kim Taehyung. He had taken her to buy a large company in one night and even signed it under her name. What was the purpose of doing that? Would Lag Sing be defeated? After finishing the call, he calmly approached her and said, The preparations have been completed. Next, we will take the Sai Sing group from Lag Sing. Listening to him, she found it very difficult to understand. Hesitantly, she asked, Steal the Sai Sing group. How can that be possible? He replied nonchalantly, That guy named Lag Sing is arrogant because behind him is the largest conglomerate in the country, the Sai Sing group. Therefore, we just need to become the largest shareholders of the Sai Sing group by buying shares and controlling all decision-making rights of the group. Then the Sai Sing group will be ours. Someone is still watching them through the camera. On the other side, she wondered, Although I don't know much about business, is it that simple? He reassured her, Don't worry, it's all part of my plan. On this side, Lag Sing laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. That's ridiculous. I thought Kim would have some clever plan to deal with me. Who would have thought he was so stupid? At this moment, a secretary beside her spoke up. This clown from Hoaxia wants to play a fair business game with you on your territory, Mr. Singh. He didn't know that all of his actions were being monitored. Lag Sing smiled smugly. Good thing I gave him 3 days to think. Looks like there's no need to send someone directly tonight. Suddenly, someone called in. The secretary quickly answered, "Hello, may I ask who is on the line?" At this moment, a voice spoke, "Come in." Someone appeared on the screen, grinning at Lag Sing. "Hello, Chairman Sing. Are you planning to run away?" The mysterious person immediately spoke up. "Don't you know anything? That Huaxia man has spread rumors and intends to use the newly acquired company to buy up all your shares. The Huaxia man wants to use money to defeat you. In my opinion, you should best surrender. Of course, if you are willing to transfer your shares in the Sing Group to me, I could consider helping you. Based on what I know about you, I fear that you wouldn't dare to fight head-on, would you? After all, Sing's recent activities are declining and the stock price is also decreasing." Hearing these words made Lag Sing uncomfortable. He stood up with a serious face. "Thank you for your advice. Since you have said that, I, Lag Sing, will also do something to maintain my dignity. If I'm not mistaken, the chairman of the Hyundai Group and the chairman of the GL Group are also paying attention to this issue. In this situation, I will broaden your perspective so you can see clearly. I will crush that clown and swallow all of his assets." The next morning, the stock market battle began. People were passing information to each other. "Did you all know someone is buying shares of the Sing Group at double the price? Is that true or false? Are they really buying at double the price? What the heck?" Seeing the extremely high prices, everyone immediately started selling. "Sell quickly, the buying price is too high. I have 500 shares, I'm selling 2. After playing the stock market for many years, it was finally my turn to sell 4-star at a very high price. I have 200 shares in hand. Recently, 4-star Group's stock price continued to drop. I thought I would fall into a trap, but unexpectedly, it hit bottom and bounced back, making a huge profit. Watching the stock price rise continuously, a girl informed 2 people, Chairman Mr. Kim, because there is enough capital. The buyback of shares is going very smoothly at this rate. You can purchase 10% of the shares in less than an hour. Hearing this, he was pleased. Keep up this pace. Over here, Lag Sing was monitoring the cameras while holding a meeting with others. The chairman of the engineering group spoke up, "Of course. Just as I thought, you have controlled all the surveillance cameras there." The chairman of Hyundai was puzzled. After all, Chairman Lag Sing is the highest shareholder. Of course, this level of satisfaction is just a piece of cake for him. The chairman of GL also chimed in. Hearing what the chairman of GL said, Lag Sing didn't care and replied, "Don't say that, Chairman GL. Even if you can sit in your current position, you are not much better than me. My level of oversight is greater than you think." Suddenly, all 3 chairpersons looked back. "Dan, he can't even get into our office." Lag Sing arrogantly shouted, "Do you think a small amount of money can stir things up for me? No, today I will show you what happens if you oppose me. In the company, there are still weaklings who want to hinder me. I will take this opportunity to intimidate the monkeys." He commanded his secretary, "Invite all the shareholders in." Immediately, everyone entered to question Lag Sing. "What are you doing?" All the shareholders of Sing Corporation appeared. The former chairman of Sing Corporation also spoke up. "You still think you haven't caused enough trouble by calling everyone together? What do you plan to do?" "I shouldn't have entrusted my company to you." Lag Sing disregarded his father's words. "Dad, you are truly hypocritical and confused. The global economy is in decline, and Sing Corporation cannot continue to develop in this tiny land. Expanding territory into Huaxia is the only best solution." Lag Sing arrogantly laughed. "After this battle, I assure you that for the next 20 years, Sing Corporation will always be at the top among the tycoons of the country." Suddenly, someone on the other side of the screen called out, "Chairman, Mr. Kim, our high-end Tem company has acquired 10% of the shares of the Sing Group." He happily opened a bottle of wine to celebrate. That was easy. Victory is just a matter of time. Seeing him so joyful, she was also pleased. "Mr. Kim Taehyung is amazing. I didn't expect you to be that rich and to take out $20 billion all at once." He cheerfully replied, "I have thoroughly investigated that the current market value of Sing Group is $100 billion with a total of 500 million shares. Lag Sing holds 35% of the shares, and I have enough money to buy 36% of the shares, surpassing Lag Sing by 1%. At that time, we will be the largest shareholder of Sing Group, and Lag Sing will be under our control. Ha ha ha." Hearing him, Lag Sing burst out laughing, pointing at the screen and laughing so hard he felt pain in his stomach. Funny, isn't it? This Huaxia person is actually celebrating with champagne in the middle of a battle. It's going to entertain me for a whole year. I'm releasing 5% of my shares, but the price of each share will increase 5-fold. If he wants to buy, let him buy as much as he likes. The secretary immediately followed his instructions. Thank you all for watching the video until the end. If you enjoyed it, then what are you waiting for? Leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any opportunity for us to meet again. If you have any opinions, feel free to comment directly below the video. Once again, I wish you all good health and happiness and a very joyful day. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.